Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy early Valentine's Day. So today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieved this Valentine's Day inspired makeup look. You could definitely still make this look very wearable. Just take away these little hearts, these little white speckles, and just do your blush and bronzer normally, and then you got a good solid date night Valentine's Day look. Before we get started, I already mentioned in the tutorial who I got my inspiration from. I wanted to mention it in the intro as well. So for the freckles and the over blush look, I got inspired by my girl Nika. I've collabed with her before, so you guys might have heard me talk about her. This is Nika here, very pretty gal. She always has this like over blush freckle look, and I think it just looks so cute. So I wanted to incorporate that in my look today. And then as for these hearts on my brows, I got inspired by Milk1422. He does a lot of great face charts, and this one was inspired by Katie, and he had like blue love hearts on his brow bone, so I wanted to do that, and instead of doing it on both of my brow bones, I just did it on one and just did one under here. Those were my two inspirations for this look today. I hope you guys will enjoy this tutorial. It's something a little bit different, but yeah, enjoy. Okay, so to get started, I am going to use my Colourpop Rose Quartz priming spray. I've mentioned this so many times, but yeah, I'm just trying to finish this up. I'm almost out of it, which I'm pretty happy about because I don't like how the way it sprays out on my face. And then just taking my Real Techniques beauty sponge and just dabbing that into my skin. For foundation today, I am going to be using the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. I am in the shade Sand. For looks like this, where it's going to be a little bit more dramatic, I do want a bit more coverage, and I just know that this foundation is something that I can, you know, fall back on, and it's going to work perfectly fine. You guys know this is like my absolute favorite foundation. Again, just taking a beauty sponge and just going to dab that into my skin. To conceal my under eyes, I will be using the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer in the shade Light Medium. I'm just going to put a little bit on my chin and a little on my forehead. And then for the blemishes that I have over here, I'm going to use the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in Golden 40. Once again, just taking my beauty sponge, I'm going to dab out the concealer into my skin, starting with my chin, and then my forehead, and then the sides of my face. And then lastly, my under eyes. I like to blend out my under eyes last. That way the concealer has a little bit of time to set, and it's going to give me a little bit more coverage. And I like to take some of my concealer onto my eyelid to act as an eye primer. Oh, I was meant to do my eyes first. Then I'll be taking my RCMA No Color Powder as always, and I'm just going to use this to set under my eyes. So I just like to take a little bit on my sponge, place it under my eye, just one dab right where the creasing is, and then just put it on the sides of my nose, whatever's left on my sponge, and then just blend all that powder away. I feel like baking my under eyes, I can't do that anymore because my under eyes, I don't know, they're just so dry now. And then taking my Wet n Wild Coverall pressed powder with my e.l.f. Cosmetics foundation blurring brush, and I'm just going to press this into my skin. Also, thank you guys so much for the pressed powder recommendations. I actually got quite a few. I actually went out and purchased the NYX one. Can't remember the name of it exactly. I think it's like the HD pressed powder. I have it here, but I'm gonna use it after I finish this one up, just because I don't want to open so much powders that I'm not gonna finish. But thank you guys so much for the recommendations. A lot of you guys said that the Australia's one was really nice. I've heard that Australia's powder was good, but I think that's a Australian and New Zealand brand only. And when it comes to those kind of brands, I'm like a little bit hesitant to use it because most of my viewers are from America. So if half my viewers can't even purchase it, then I'm like, what's the point of showing it? But I'm still gonna try it out because it might be really good, and who knows, maybe you can get it in the US. And then of course, I'm taking my 3 Concept Eyes makeup Makeup Fix and Mist to blend all of the powders into my skin. And then just taking the flat side of my beauty sponge and just dabbing that into my skin. So that is the base done for now. I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyebrows, and then we can get started with the eyes. Okay, so my brows are on. Let's go ahead and get started with this eye look. So I want to keep it very red base. I don't want to go too pinky or too berry because last year I did more of a pinkier look, and this time around I just want to do something more red. So I'm going into a bunch of palettes, but don't feel like you need to get every single palette. Just use what you have. You can do other color combinations. But yeah, the first shade that I'm going to take is this one from the Yes Please palette. This red one here. It is called Spoiled, and I'm going to take this on my Wet n Wild crease brush, and I'm going to start putting this into my crease as my transition shade. I know it's quite dark to be a transition shade, but we're really going to diffuse the product out. So putting that directly into the crease, first using windshield wiping motions just to get that pigment in there, and then slowly start using circular motions to start blending it out. And now I'm going into my Juvias Place Nubian palette, and I'm going to take this warm chocolate brown over here on my ENQUIRES Beauty Fluffy Blender brush. And I'm just going to place this shadow in the outer corner of my eye, and whatever's left on my brush, bring it towards the inner corner of my eye into the crease. So just using circular motions first. And then I'm going into my Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to take this shade over here on my Colourpop E9 brush. And I'm just going to really focus this on the outer corner of my eye. And that's all I'm taking it, just in circular motions in the outer third. And I always make sure to go back in with my blending brushes and just, you know, just blend everything out again. Okay, and now I'm going to take some concealer on the back of my hand. I'm just using this e.l.f. concealer here. You can use any concealer that you like. I don't use this for my face anymore. I only use it for my cut creases. I'm just going to take a very small brush like this, and I'm going to start carving out my crease. I've used this technique so many times, but I thought I would just keep mentioning it since if anybody's new here. So I like to apply this all over my lid. So I am going to do a half cut crease. So I'm only going to place it where I need it. And then around here, I'm gonna look up, and that's kind of gonna mark where it's not gonna transfer. Like, I have to go above that line. And I think the smaller brush that you use, the better. You have a lot more control, and that's like my biggest recommendation, especially if you have smaller lids like me. Just use a smaller brush. And you can see that's not very clean. So what I like to do is go in with this very thin brush. It's actually a pink brush. So just take a bit of concealer on it and just drag it along that line. So now I'm going to take my You Had Me at Hello palette. I'm going to take this shade in the corner. It is called Candygram. And I'm actually going to wet my brush because I don't want any fallout since we did do our foundation first. I'm going to wet my brush. The brush that I'm using is the Makeup Collective number 18 brush. And because I'm extra, I'm going into my Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette, and I'm going to take this shade here, this reddy pinky one. This one is called Mars on Fire. But this Fenty palette, the eyeshadows in here are more like an eyeshadow topper for me. It's very fine glitters. I think it's very beautiful, this palette. So I'm just gonna add it on top just to add dimension. Obviously, you don't have to do this. And then I'm just going to take that darker shade that we put in our outer corner and just blend these two shades together so there are no harsh lines. So I'm going to take this red shade that we used earlier, it's called Spoiled, from the Yes Please palette, on my Morphe M573. And I'm just going to place that in the center, kind of meshing it, that way there's a little bit more red up in there. And then I'm going to take my e.l.f. angled eyeliner brush, using that darker shade that we used on our outer corner from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Just taking a light hand with it, I'm gonna dust off some on the back of my hand so there's like barely any product on it. And I'm gonna go on the edge of the cut crease just to lightly deepen it up. So now we're going to move on to the lower lash line. I'm just going to take that darker shade that we used from the Jaclyn Hill palette on my Makeup Collective number 11 brush, and I'm just going to run this from outer to inner corner. Okay, so now I'm going to give myself a wing liner. I kind of want to give myself more of a dramatic wing than usual, using my Inglot gel liner as always. You guys know this is my Holy Grail gel liner. I'm using my Makeup Geek bent eyeliner brush, and I'm just gonna start doing my wing. Okay, and then for my lower lash line, I'm going to use the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in No Shame. And I'm just going to put this on my lower lash line. And now I'm going to curl my lashes and apply some mascara to get them ready for false lashes. Okay, and now I'm just going to bronze up my skin very lightly. I want to do more blush than bronzer, but I'm going to use the Too Faced Bronze and Poreless Bronzer with my Colourpop powder brush. So for blush, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I was inspired by my girl Nika over here. She always wears like this over blush look, like she'll blush all the way across her nose with freckles, and that's what I want to kind of do today. Go follow her, by the way, Nika fan. But I don't have like a really red blush, so I'm going to go into my Modern Renaissance palette and I'm going to take Red Ochre. So now I'm going to go into my Jaclyn Hill palette and take this shade over here, and I'm going to use this for my freckles. I'm using my Makeup Collective number 2 brush. Okay, now I'm going to highlight my face with the Dose of Colors DESIXKATY Fuego highlighter. And now for my lip color, what do I want to wear? I think I'm gonna have to go with the 3 Concept Eyes lipstick in 115 Muss. And now I'm going to do something else that is obviously optional, but I saw this face chart from Milk 1422, but I got inspired by this because he drew hearts on the brow bone, and I kind of want to do something like that but with red hearts instead, and instead on both of the brow bones I want to do some over here and then some love hearts over here, just to get in the spirit of Valentine's Day. But I'm going to take a Reba from Colourpop Cosmetics on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use this to draw the love hearts on my eyebrows. So just take your time with it if you want to do this. I'm going to put one on my brow bone. And then I'm going to draw like a mini one next to it. And I'm going to draw 2 dots and then 2 dots in front. And then I'm going to draw some hearts over here on the corner of my eye as well. Just popped on my lashes. And now I'm going to put like little white specks throughout my eyeshadow. So I'm going to put some on my lower lash line. And this, guys, is going to complete the Valentine's Day inspired makeup look. I hope you guys learned something new and just kind of push you out of your little comfort zone. Doing little things like adding hearts on your face, to adding more blush, adding freckles can really change up your look, and it's just fun to step out of your comfort zone here and there, be a little more creative. So I hope I could inspire that. If you guys did enjoy watching, please give this video a thumbs up for me, and also comment down below what other makeup looks you guys want to see from me. But yeah, that is pretty much all I have to say for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!